Hey there, this is Chou. I'm back to filming my vlog, and I have all this, again, my gamification guy kind of intro that for those who don't know me should watch. But again, I'm just a pioneer in gamification and about to publish my second book, 10,000 Hours of Play. And I'm not 100% sure why I'm starting to vlog. I mean, it could be related to promoting my second book, 10,000 Hours Played. First book sold 100,000 copies, good to throw out there. But I don't even think this is the best way to promote a second book, Maybe because I watched a Gary Vaynerchuk video about, make a video every day, in every platform, just do it. And it's not about it's about everything. So maybe that inspired me. Or, I just wanted to express myself or just be more out there. I do think building a personal brand is very important. I did watch a YouTube video or watch a speech. I forgot what it is actually, but it was talking about, it's an x.com post. That's those long form ones that's threaded, that basically says your personal brand is going to be the most important thing ever. You know why? Because supposedly AI is going to replace Google searches, and so all the middle things, the websites, the blogs, the social media even might get cut out. So the only thing is that people need to remember you, and they need to search for you to have a say and some kind of business. Wow, that car was a little bit too close. It literally went through my line for 6 inches or something, and 6 inches is pretty big, right? So anyway, so your personal brand, because if people don't know, they're just searching for stuff. Google doesn't want to send people to web pages, and they'll just tell you the answer on their own website. So, because they want to keep you at google.com, and they would only send people away maybe when there's ads, right? Because that's how they monetize. So, so maybe it's like, hey, you should build a personal brand. I do have one already. Maybe you do know, but yeah, might as well do it. I mean, I'm driving anyway, so just making use of my time. Anyhow, so book stuff. Today I'm just working on getting some final tidbits of the cited sources, and also at the end of each chapter, each section in some of the chapters, there's something called It's Your Turn to Play. So I'm just doing the exercises. So once I do that, I can order the first physical prototype that I could see, and I can see, the formatting's off, it looks ugly, it's crap, and all that stuff. So that'll be very, very helpful. And one of the things in my last vlog that I talked about that was interesting to some of the people was the idea that when I'm self-assured, I don't need to worry that, again, the social media stuff, no one watches, or only 3 people watches it. I don't really mind, because I'm pretty established already. And this leads to something that I taught before in my Octalysis Prime community, which is, if you have a solid core, if you're self-assured, then you don't mind when people criticize you and say anything about you, because you are the immovable object, right? You are confident in yourself, you have self-esteem, you know your value, and so nothing other people can say that would affect how you think about yourself. But it allows you to figure out who they are, right? It reflects on them. So you would figure out, these are people who bash others and try to take other people down instead of improving themselves, right? Or these are people who are insecure or jealous, or, maybe they have a good point. They're like, these are very critical people who point out things that you can improve. So again, you're the immovable object. You're not going to change how you think about yourself, because you know what it is. So everything else becomes movable. So people just identify themselves to you when they criticize you. And I think that's very important, very powerful. I think a lot of people in society need to have this angle, and just live your life. Obviously, you need to keep improving yourself. There's also not this thing about, you're perfect as it is, you don't have to change. If you're not healthy, right? Again, this goes into some more controversial stuff, I guess. I mean, it shouldn't be controversial. If you're overweight, you're unhealthy, you have higher chances of getting diseases. Supposedly the chance of dying from anything doubles. And, you're not a bad person, and there's obviously a lot of good things about you, but there's probably some space to improve, right? We should always keep improve ourselves, and learn more things. If you can, eat healthily, exercise a bit more, spend more time with family and relationships, things like that. I think, again, that shouldn't be controversial. I totally support the idea that some people need emotional encouragement. You need to pump them up. And so not every moment is the moment to just say, hey, yeah, you don't look good, right? When someone says, hey, do I look fat? You don't always just say, yeah, you look fat, right? You're like, hey, you look fine, it's good, don't worry about it. Or if they failed on a test, you don't say, hey, yeah, that's a really easy test. I can't believe you failed it, right? You say something like, oh, well, I'm sure next time you'll do well, and this one was trickier, blah, blah, blah. Like maybe it's not 100% true, but it's encouraging them. I think there's a lot of value encouraging people and motivating them. But I think if you turn that into a whole literature, a movement about something that is delusional, that is not true, I think it just reinforces negative behavior, and it just puts them in a worse state, right? If they're failing and you tell them this is successful, then they're just gonna fail even more because they don't even recognize it's failing. And then one day they will realize, whoa, I am like the ultimate loser. I failed to the point where I cannot climb back out of this anymore, right? Because sooner or later reality hits you. So I think small moments, encouraging people is good, when they need it the most, right? When they're at the emotional down period. But consistent you could say motivation that is not necessarily true does not and again, there's another thing. Some of them is not completely true, but it at least motivates the right desired behavior, right? If you say, if you believe in it, you can accomplish anything. If you work hard, you can accomplish anything. And that's obviously not literally true, like 100% true. There are things that you cannot accomplish, or at least a very, very, okay, so there are things that are very, very, very low probability in accomplishing. But then there are things that are literally impossible for you to accomplish. I can tell you right now, it is physically impossible for me to be an Olympic gymnastics gold medalist, let's say, right? It's impossible. I'm almost 40. I have not trained in this direction at all. And let's say it's even more impossible for me to win a gold medal, be a gold medalist of that for a country that I don't belong to, maybe in the women's division, right? That's just impossible. It doesn't matter how hard I work. It's like, all right. So you can also argue that you can argue that, oh, well, I can like immigrate to a new country, which means, oh, if I make enough money, I can spend it and I can get a citizenship there. And then, depending on the regulations and all that stuff, maybe I can do a sex change, or even like do a sex change into the competition only, and that's it, because some people apparently do stuff like that. But obviously, even if that is all true, I'm just not qualified to be the gold Olympics, right, in athletics. But there are things that you say that you motivate them. They're working harder. They're not accepting failure as like the most amazing thing. But they feel like failure is okay. But then they work hard. So I think those are fine, right? Especially when most people, when they hear, they also know it's like just encouragement. It's not literally you're saying they could accomplish anything. They'll still find this realm of what's realistic for them. It's just as long as they work on it. Now, also keep in mind, I do believe that there are more things that people can accomplish than they imagine. Like, let's say someone wants to become an astronaut, right? And they are in their 30s, and they are, not doing anything related to being an astronaut, right? It would seem like it's impossible, but once that's your goal, that's your plan, according to the 10,000 hours of play ethos, there are ways to get there with the 6 steps. Or let's say your game is to become an astronaut, right? And so then you look at your attributes. Maybe you're good at blogging, which again mostly has nothing to do with being an astronaut, and journaling. Let's say that, right? Let's just say that. Most people think, oh well, that doesn't do anything. And then let's say your role is you can choose your strategy. Your role is a blogger, and so here's what you can do. you could start writing a blog, making YouTube videos about the NASA space program, explorations, and try to make this channel as amazing as possible, which means you need to do step 4, enhance your skills, right? Build a YouTube channel, be good writing, document many things, learn, and just say, hey, I'm sharing what I'm learning about space. You don't have to pretend to be an expert, but become a more popular channel, and then constantly push on the movement, like, hey, we'd like more citizen space interests. We like citizen projects to learn about NASA, and you want to build alliances. So start messaging people who work for NASA, who are in SpaceX, space programs, message them, networking with them, getting them to know you and your blog and your YouTube show. And then, and then keep building. And maybe if you're pushing for this citizen space interest and you're popular and whatnot, potentially one day they will say, hey, we have this space program. Some people are going to space, and we want to add like 1 or 2 people who are just citizens, who are not astronauts, to go with us and become astronauts for this one trip or whatever, right? Now, is it likely? No, it's not. I don't know how likely it is. It's definitely not guaranteed. But before, something was seemingly impossible, right? Now there's a path. Now there's a way to play your game, your 10,000 hours of play game, right? And even if you don't succeed, again, I assume you have this goal because you're passionate about space and, being an astronaut, all that stuff, right? You would still have learned a lot of things you're interested in. You have built a brand. People would have respected you. You would have connected with many people, maybe your heroes in the space race. So even if you don't become an astronaut and go to space, I think that's still very, very successful. That's what a theme I constantly say. Just by playing the game, you are winning, right? Just like Super Mario, like in the original NES. I know a lot of people who have fond memories of playing it, but very few people actually beat the game. And no one says, oh, I didn't beat the game, I failed, so it was miserable, I regret playing. No, you would only regret it if you didn't get to play it, right? So, and you knew what you were missing out on. So this is what we want with 10,000 hours of play, which is we have a goal, we have a game, then we figure out what our attributes, what our talents are. So we can, and with that we choose the role in the game, and then once we know our role, we enhance the skills to become the highest possible player with that role on your Earth server. And then you figure out how to build alliances. Step 5, meet all the right people to help you with your quests and grow and build teammates, allies, mentors. And then you do quests, which are things that help you get your skills, get closer to your game, right? So I know I moved from, I think I moved the topic from, hey, don't say things are good when it's not, to, hey, don't tell people something's possible when it's not possible. And it's like, hey, look, something that sounds impossible, there's an actual direct path to do it by just following these 6 steps. So, but yeah, I do really believe that, right? So I don't personally think there is a path that I can be a Olympic athlete in gymnastics. I don't think there is a role, but if that was my passion, that was my game, even today I could probably take on quests and a role to support these athletes, to be close to them, be on backstage, be a sponsor or funder, to help them train or something, or implement gamification in their training regimen. I can contribute to that game, but I don't think I could have the role of being the actual competitor. So but it's just because I started late. We're late in the game, and I didn't invest the right points. If I was, let's say, 12 years old and that was my goal, yeah, maybe I do have a chance. My attributes probably will still not support it compared to other people with the right attributes. I think usually they have to be more nimble, and most of them have smaller bones, lighter weight, more nimble. I don't have that, but potentially I could train for that. The key thing, today's lesson, I guess, we're gonna wrap up, I think. So there's so much to talk about. Today's lesson is really about understanding what your goals are, understanding what's realistic, what's not, and creating a path there. And no matter what, don't let people hurt your self-esteem. You need to keep improving, but don't let anyone feel like you're not worthy of playing the game. You are a bad person. You just have, you could only be the right person playing the wrong game. right? You can't be the wrong person because you are yourself. And so once you find the right game, then you're the right person playing the right game. You're the main character. You can dominate, and whether you're successful or how successful you become is 100% up to you. Whether you do the right quest, whether you find the right allies, whether you improve the right skills, right? It's just put time into it, you know. Play the game. Play the game. You'll win. If you don't play the game, you won't win. It's basically straightforward. Anyway, I think that's all for today. I'll talk to you guys next time. Oh, and I'm calling this series apparently Rambling with Insights, which you can tell it's kind of like that, right? I'm just kind of rambling, jumping around different ideas. But, you know, I do also believe there's some insights that people can learn from. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.